Everybody, welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. Chelsea 4, Brighton 3. Was it a preseason game? I think it was a preseason game that had everything in it, didn't it? It had lots of goals, penalties, red cards, lots of challenges. I mean, a real competitive edge to the game. I wonder, part of it may have been the pursuit of Moises Caicedo from Chelsea. Maybe the Zerbi was extra motivated to cause some headaches for Chelsea. But it was a wonderful game. It was a wonderful game to watch. And I mean, the one thing that I do know about Pochettino's time at Spurs was that they were capable of some fantastic results, but they were also capable of some inexplicable ones as well. And I think that is going to continue at Chelsea as well. We're going to see a very inconsistent side this season. That's what I feel. They're going to be very entertaining. They're going to be very enterprising, but at times you won't know what you're going to get. So that's something that I could take away from this game. But I mean, it's hard to draw too many conclusions. A, it's preseason, but B, also the fact that Brighton played for 30 minutes with 10 men. And for the first 60 minutes of that game, they looked like the better team. Especially in that first half, they really should have been ahead. They shouldn't have gone in 1-1. They probably should have been 2-1 or 3-1 out. But they didn't take their chances. And in the second half, I think Chelsea threatened on the counter. I think even the first 15 minutes, I think Brighton had chances, but I think Chelsea always threatened on the counter. And then that red card happened because of the counter attack. And after that, the whole game disintegrated. The question, of course, is would Brighton have been so enterprising in attack if this was a real game, if this wasn't a friendly? Because I feel even after they went down to 10 men, they tried to attack and they tried to play, fast football. Whereas I think if probably in a real game, in a situation where points were at stake, maybe they would have taken a more pragmatic approach. Maybe, I'm not sure, but that certainly had an impact. But the goals were brilliant. I think there's some really good goals. I mean, the Welbeck goal finish was fantastic to make it 1-0. The Nkunku chip was a thing of beauty to make it 1-1. What a player he could be. And then the Mudryk goal to make it 2-1 was superb. That assist from Jackson, by the way, will not get a mention or will not get much mention, but it was a brilliant pass into the feet of Mudryk, and Mudryk just has to make sure that he picks out a corner, which he does. A beautiful finish from Mudryk. He's got a big season ahead of him as well, hasn't he? He's got to had a really disappointing half season with Chelsea. He's got to do better, but I think if he plays as a left winger, I think there's hope for him. I don't think he's a striker, but as a left winger, maybe there is yet hope for him. But 2-1, which becomes 3-1 very soon after. I mean, it was a Conor Gallagher with a fantastic finish. Again, snapshot, it was a good finish, that one, to make it 3. And then 4-1 with Nicholas Jackson. I mean, poor defending for the fourth goal, to be honest. I mean, they just let Jackson, with the 2 ball cuts them open. It's a good finish from Jackson. Chelsea have 2 good strikers. Not one, they have 2 good strikers. They had 0 last season. They now have 2 good strikers, it would seem. And that's something that's going to please them quite a bit. I think they'll be very happy. They'll be very, very happy with their acquisitions this summer. If they're good, and it was 4-1. And for some reason, Chelsea just let the penalty from Colwill. It was a penalty. It was the right decision, but didn't need to do that. It became 4-2. Joao Pedro scores. Then it's 4-3. Undav scores. This sets up a bit nervous. Again, the Undav finish was very good as well. By the way, it's a nice little finish. It's 4-3. I thought Joao Pedro really played well in this match. He should have probably had a goal or an assist. The way that he was playing, he really troubled that Chelsea backline. I think he's going to be one to watch out for. But I mean, like I said, you can't really draw too many conclusions from the results. The performances do tell a story, though, and I think a lot of people this season will sleep on Chelsea. I think plays the fact that they finished 12th and all that, but I think the fact that they're not in European football, they're not going to have any European football next season. I think that's going to be an advantage because they don't need a big squad. And considering all the players that have left, sometimes you feel, oh well, we need to refresh the squad, we need to bring in more players. They don't need to. They only need to bring a few in, and they should be okay. They don't need to replace all that have left. They just need to bring a few more additions, maybe a CDM, maybe another center back, maybe because of all the injuries. But otherwise, they're good to go. They don't need that many players, and that is something that will definitely be an advantage for Chelsea, because other clubs will need to have big squads because they're going to be playing in Europe, whereas Chelsea don't need that. So of course, I'll do my predictions later. But I think Chelsea will have an advantage, but they've got some phenomenal players who, if they can be gelled right, I think they've got something there. They've got something, and I think they could be dark horses for next season. I really think they could be. But this game was, even whatever the result of this game, I still felt that they would be dark horses for this season. But it was a good game to watch, and I like the performances of many players. I thought Mudryk was good. Thought Jackson looked really good for the time that he was on the pitch. And Nkunku, obviously, with that fantastic goal, looked really good as well. Enzo Fernandez always looks good every time he plays. So they've got a few pieces there. On the Brighton side, I was very impressed with how they were not intimidated by Chelsea. It would have been funny if they played Moises Caicedo in this game, but I can understand why he didn't play. He shouldn't have played this game, and it was the right call from Zerbi not to play him in this game. But it would have been funny if he did play this game because against Chelsea with all that's happening. But I was very impressed with how much Brighton took the game to Chelsea. They weren't trying to sit back. They weren't intimidated. They were like, we're a good team and we're going to play the way. And they troubled Chelsea on more than one occasion. They looked really, really good. And like I said, at times they looked the better team. I was impressed with João Pedro, of course, played really, really well. And I hope to see a lot more of him this coming season. And even Enciso at times, I mean, you know what you get with Brighton. You get a lot of high pressing, high energy, fast paced football. You know what you get, and it's good. And it was good that they never backed down. Even at 4-1, they kept fighting. They made it 4-2. They made it 4-3. It would have been so easy to narrative, like from 1-0 to disintegrate and go 4-1 and lose. But they actually kept fighting, and they got it back to 4-3. They got it back to respectability. Was that a second yellow? I mean, you always question why somebody gets sent off, but in that case, I can see it. I mean, Van Hecke did make that second challenge that he didn't need to make. I mean, even if it's a friendly, sometimes you've got to protect the game as well a little bit, and I think the referee did the right thing there by sending him off. And it was getting a bit ridiculous as well with the amount of times that Brighton were trying to stop Chelsea with the counter and pick up yellow cards and all of that. So no complaints there, but it did ruin the game as a spectacle, because I think after that Chelsea kind of had the advantage and they hammered that home, but inexplicably they let Brighton back in. So it did make for a good entertainment, but I think as an intriguing tactical battle, I think going down to 10 men kind of ruined the game a little bit as well. But nonetheless, full entertainment. I can't complain. There was a lot of it. It was very entertaining. I loved it. And looking forward to seeing more of Chelsea's games and maybe more of Brighton's game and seeing what they do before the start of the season. Of course, for both these teams, I think it's quite clear that they need a few more additions to the squad just to flesh it out and to make it better. And of course, they were missing quite a few players both sides. So still more to come. And let's see what happens. But yeah, totally entertained. Do smash the like on this video if you enjoyed it. Share your thoughts on the game. What do you think about Chelsea's performance? What do you think about Brighton's performance? What do you think Chelsea could achieve this season? I think they could have a good season. I really think. I thought that even last January though, but then they disappointed me. So I don't know. But I feel like they could have a good season this time around, just with circumstances around them. But do share your thoughts. Of course, always have to hear from you guys. As I said, smash like if you enjoyed this video. Congratulations to Chelsea fans and on the victory, of course. And do subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Always appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.